Hey, everybody. Let's try this again, see if this works, because this has been pretty frustrating for me and nothing has been working. So let's go ahead and add our logos. And alrighty. Oh, a little frustrated. Sorry, guys. Anyways, in this video, we are going to talk about brand, building your brand, recognition, and content creation. So content creation, a little bit about my process of how we create how I create content and things like that. Um so for me, content creation is super important. It's really important for me because I want to make sure that uh people know who I am, how I operate, and what I do. So our specific, we have two verticals that we love to deal with. It's um our main vertical is going to be um fitness coaches and business coaches, online spaces, creative agencies, things like that. Anybody with an online space, not necessarily e-commerce. I don't, I'm not a big e-commerce guy, but oh, excuse me, that is one we can. We do have a few e-commerce, but it's not my specialty. It's not my what I like to work with. I like to work with business coaches, fitness coaches, those. Why? Because their business model is very similar to ours. Monthly recurring revenues, software's expenses, labor efficiencies, things like that. It's all pretty similar. And so that's why I enjoy working with them. So yeah. How do I get myself out there? How do they know who I am? How do we get with them and have them see what we do, how they can work with us? That's really important. That's what you want to do is try to get in front of them, because I mean, we're all trying to get clients, but it's different when you're in an online space, because they don't know who you are. They don't know who you are. A lot of you guys know who I am. You've seen me. You get me. What you see is what you get. But you're trying to work with a new client. You meet them on Instagram. You meet them on LinkedIn, and you're like, man, I really think I can provide some value to them. They're not going to know who you are, so it's going to be a hard sell to try to get them. So that's why you want to start building up your brand and getting your name out there and creating the content specific for them. So when I first started, I would just create content. I just threw a bunch of stuff out there, and it was fun, and it worked. But started working with a marketing consultant, and we'll go ahead and name drop her like crazy, Katie Thomas. She has been working with her, has been tremendous for our brand and in my business and everything. And we kind of started hyper focusing. Okay, this is who you want to work with. This is your industry. Let's focus there. So what I started doing is kind of creating content more for them to help them out. And a lot of times, I the content I create and the marketing and the videos and everything, it it comes usually from pain points that I hear clients talk about. So I have conversations with clients, and they'll tell me, "Oh, I've got this or I've got that, and I have this problem." And that's usually when I'm like, "Oh, that's good to talk about. Let me go ahead and talk about that while it's fresh." That's why you guys just see me randomly pop on sometimes and start talking and going that way. So let me give you guys kind of a little bit of example of what I'm talking about getting out there. So let's say you want to work with contractors, construction contractors. That's who you want to work with. Okay. So one of the biggest pain, and I know because I've got a couple construction clients, one of the biggest contractors actually, one of the biggest pain points, or so that's actually three pain points that I've seen a lot with these guys. One is actually tracking their jobs, profitability of jobs. So are they making money on their job? Are they not? What's going on? Two is going to be kind of tracking their labor costs, making sure their guys are operating everything. And that kind of goes in back with the profitability of the job. That kind of ties them together. And then the third is essentially just kind of the bidding process itself. Like, am I bidding correctly? Am I bidding what I'm supposed to be bidding? Am I doing that? So that's kind of a little bit of those are some of the pain points that I've come across with some of my clients. And so let me see, let me take this little banner off and put the lower third. Okay. So um so that's what we got. So something like that. Okay. So let's say you come across that, right? And you see that. So okay, you want to talk directly to them. All right. So what do? You go in, and so let's say you want to create, so you want to talk about the whole bidding process, right? So what you do, you create the you create long form content. Like, so what does that mean? So you create a video. So create a video. So you just turn on the camera, or you write a post and you just write everything. Go crazy. Talk about everything. Go on your different tangents. Go. 45 minutes, 60 minutes, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is. Create that long form content, okay? Because that's going to be really important. So, Texas pecan coffee, can't beat that. So you got your long form content, correct? So then what you want to do then is okay, that right there is a piece of content. It's long. No one's really going to want to listen to that long, but it's there. So then what you do with that is you start chopping away pieces. So let's say for 15 minutes you talk about, oh, I don't know, the bidding process, and then you talk about profitability, and then you talk about expenses and what should be included. You start talking about different subjects. So then what you do is you take that, cut that piece off. So then now you have maybe like you have a 60-minute video, or a 60-minute, let's say video, because I do video, 60-minute video or podcast, and then you cut that up into, let's say, 20 minutes of the bidding process. Okay. So just right there, just with that, you've got two different pieces of content now from one. Okay. You've got two. Okay. So then you take that 20-minute one, and that 20-minute one, you start to look at it again. Okay. So now we're talking about the bidding. Now you can start cutting that up into little, even more divulge pieces, maybe 4 or 5 minutes. Let's say you do 20 minutes, you do 5-minute pieces, right? So so now you have 4 pieces of content inside of there. So now out of those 4 minutes, you take that and you cut some of those into 1-minute segments. Okay. So now you take that throughout the rest of the video, you've got a ton of content to do. Okay. You've got a ton of content. So you've got all that. You can post that out there to the space that you want to work with. And that's a lot. And then what you do, you take that, you make that a podcast episode. The long form, you make it a podcast episode, and then you take the other pieces, you create a big YouTube video, you cut them up, you create smaller YouTube videos. You take the even smaller ones, and those can be just on your Facebook page or your Instagram or your LinkedIn, not Instagram, or your LinkedIn, and then you go to your Instagram and you can do the 1-minute segments, or if you want to do IGTV, you can do a little bit longer, and you start hashtagging everybody, like construction, anything related to construction. And there you go. So now what you've done is taken a 60-minute piece of content and created, let's do the numbers. One, you cut it up 4 pieces. So 60 minutes, you cut up into 20 pieces. That's 5. And then each 5 is let's say 5 minutes, 5 of them, 4 pieces each, 25, 30. Yeah, you've created about 30, and then each 4. Yeah, I'm not gonna do the numbers. Anyways, you guys can see it's too early. So you see, that's a lot of content. That's a lot of content you can have around one subject, right? Plus, you've got the podcast episode. Y'all, podcasts are great. Podcasts are amazing because podcasts give you the ability, if you want to work with somebody, if you want to talk to somebody, the podcast is the best way to get in front of them. People love to talk about themselves. Okay. So it's just, I cannot get Like I cannot stress how important the a podcast has been for us and how great it's been for us to build our build my rapport, build the brand and everything. So but okay, I digress. Let's go back. Pieces of content. Now you have content for LinkedIn. Now you have content for Instagram. And then what you do, you take a blog post. You turn that into a blog post. You put a blog post on your website. Okay. And just like that, you've hit everything. You've hit the written piece, then you create a Medium account, post it on Medium as well. So you've got it on Medium, you've got the blog post on there, you've got video on YouTube, you've got video on all your social media pages, you've got on all your social media pages, and then you've got your podcast episode out there as well. So just like that, you've hit a whole bunch of markets targeting a specific industry. Okay. You set yourself up as an expert in there. You start talking about it, you set yourself up as an expert. The podcast episode, you can start getting in front of, you get the podcast, start getting in front of some of those people in the industry, start interviewing them, talking about it. You don't have to specifically do interview style podcasts. You can do kind of heads, whatever the heck is called. It's early. I've been up for 3 hours now. So, so you can do it this way, head talking or whatever it's called, and create the content there. So then, please excuse me. What's that? I love coffee. So then you take that and then you sorry, I got away from the mic. Allergies are acting up. So you take that and then so you now have a whole bunch of pieces of content. You want to take it one step further. You start doing that for a while, and then you boom, do a webinar. Hey, sign up for a webinar where we're going to talk about this, and just like that, record the webinar. You've got some more content to do, and just continuously do it that way. For me, like I said, most of the content I get is just pain points from clients, or prospects that come, hey, I've got this. How do I do this? How do I do that? And I'm just like, that's pretty good. So I'll write it down, and then, I kind of map it out how I want to talk about it and go that way. So that is the best way, in my opinion, or at least that's how I operate for my content and how I create content and how I, do that, because that's just, having to come up with something new every day and everything. It's just, it's hard, it's hard. But that's just a great way to really get your name out there, get yourself out there, and start to really build your rapport, build your brand, because that's really important, is building your brand. You want your brand, you want to have brand awareness, you want people to know who you are, how you operate, and things like that. So that's going to be really important, especially in your industry that you want to work with. Now, if you want to be a jack of all trades, you can be, but I mean, the age-old adage of riches and niches, I mean, that is true. You become an expert in that industry, and they start coming to you. So yeah, guys, that's a little bit of kind of, I always hear like, how the content creation is hard. It takes too long. There's too much to do and everything. And yeah, traditionally, yes, there is. But at the same time, like, it's still doable. And that's kind of how you do it is at least that's how I do it. I create, because I can talk on and I babble and I go on tangents and everything. And so what I do is I just kind of make that long form content, and then from there try to split it up. So all right, guys, hope you enjoyed this, the first episode of Café con Jose. We're gonna start doing these a lot more, once a week, kind of tips and tricks, talking about lifestyle, not lifestyle, but talking about life, talking about branding, talking about business, talking about it, just anything. It's just kind of a conversation, a candid conversation. I plan on having people come in, talk to them, interview them. It's not going to be this early. This is just because I was up this early. So, but yeah, guys, this has been fun. So I will catch y'all later.